You are waking up in a room where the floor is disappearing inch by inch. But because you are staring at a glowing screen, you do not even notice your feet are hanging over the edge.
Yeah.
Every single morning, you unlock your phone and swallow a silent poison.
Yeah, and it happens in about 3 seconds. You open an app and the trigger is just immediate.
Right.
A former classmate is leaning against a brand new sports car. Swipe. A guy your exact age is posing in front of a glass penthouse in Dubai, showing off a stack of cash and a seemingly perfect life.
And your stomach physically drops.
Exactly. Your chest tightens, and this cold, heavy voice inside your head whispers 3 words that dictate the rest of your day. You are losing.
I want to stop right there and look at the research we've gathered for this deep dive. Because society constantly tries to write this feeling off.
They really do.
You tell someone you feel like this, and they say, oh, you're just in a bad mood, or, you're going through a rough patch. Drink some water and go for a walk.
Right, like it's just a minor phase.
Exactly. But when you look at the raw data on the behavior of young men right now, it's not a bad mood. It looks like a battlefield.
It is a battlefield.
You've got guys isolating themselves in dark rooms, playing video games for 14 hours a day, pretending the real world does not exist. Or, like, the exact opposite. Guys leasing cars they absolutely cannot afford just to take a single photo for strangers.
Yeah, creating a totally fake image.
Right. They're acting like soldiers who've already been shot, just quietly waiting to bleed out in the dark. Millions of young men are drowning in this quiet rage, and I think we need to admit this is a crisis.
Well, what's really fascinating here is that you're describing a mass, unseen collapse of an entire generation. But, this isn't random weakness. It is an engineered panic.
Engineered panic, that is a heavy phrase.
It is, but the feelings you are experiencing every single day are a signal. So our mission today is to unpack the invisible machinery driving this collapse and urgently apply 5 critical survival strategies from the research before that trap springs shut forever.
Because if you do not decode this signal right now, you will spend the rest of your life as a ghost, watching everyone else win while your own future bleeds out.
Exacto.
Okay, let's unpack this invisible machinery. Because before we can even talk about surviving, we need to understand the terrifying framework of control being used against you.
We have to look at the root cause.
Honestly, part of me wants to push back on the phrase engineered panic. Are we giving the modern world too much credit? Guys have always compared themselves to their neighbors, right? Is this really a new coordinated collapse?
So if we connect this to the bigger picture, the mechanism itself isn't new. It's just been weaponized on a global scale.
Weaponized how?
There is this ancient psychological trap that has been used to break men throughout human history. In ancient times, if a kingdom wanted to destroy a rival tribe without firing a single arrow, they didn't attack the walls.
Wait, really? What did they do?
They used a very specific, devastating tactic. They showed the young men of that tribe a vision of endless, unreachable wealth while keeping them completely isolated from each other.
So they didn't even have to fight them physically. They just broke their minds.
Yes, entirely.
How does that actually work on a biological level? How does a vision of wealth destroy a person?
It is all about perceived status and the brain's threat response. Once a man believes he is isolated, weak, and hopelessly falling behind his peers, his brain literally stops planning for the future.
It just shuts down.
The prefrontal cortex, which is your logic center, it shuts down, and his brain switches into primal survival mode. And here is the terrifying part.
What's that?
When a man enters survival mode while living in relative physical comfort, his mind begins to eat itself alive.
Wow.
Envy is not just a temporary emotion, It is a psychological poison that paralyzes your ability to take action. Your amygdala registers another man's success as a literal physical threat to your own survival. You feel like he stole your life from you.
And here is where it gets really interesting. Because when you look at who is deploying this ancient warfare tactic today, it's not a rival kingdom.
No, it's not.
According to our sources, it is explicitly multi-billion-dollar corporations and social media apps. And they designed this architecture on purpose.
Precisely. They engineered it. They monetized your despair.
Exactly. Think about the underlying logic of consumerism. A calm, disciplined man who knows his purpose cannot be easily sold useless garbage.
He just doesn't need it.
Right, he doesn't need it. But a desperate man, a man who feels small and constantly behind, He is incredibly profitable.
Highly profitable.
He will spend his last dollar on quick fix courses, fake status symbols, and instant dopamine hits just to feel like a winner for 5 minutes.
Because your despair is being harvested to keep you weak and easy to control. The algorithms utilized by these multi-billion-dollar corporations and social media apps are designed to optimize engagement.
And nothing drives frantic, desperate engagement quite like insecurity.
Exactly. When you are paralyzed by this engineered envy, you become predictable. You complain, you bitter scroll, you get angry at the world, you stop building, you stop training, and you stop fighting.
I'll admit, I've fallen into this loop. I mean, I've spent an hour staring at my ceiling, questioning all my life choices, just because someone my age posted a milestone on LinkedIn.
We all have.
But this raises an important point from the research that completely flips the script. The men showing off on the screen, the ones making you feel like you are failing, they are caught in the exact same trap, just one level higher.
That is the ultimate irony.
The guy flexing the sports car is drowning in high-interest debt. He is terrified of being exposed as a fraud. He is sacrificing his actual sanity for a phantom image.
He is entirely trapped in the illusion. And if you, the listener, if you ignore this biological signal and keep playing their game, the psychological decay escalates in 3 terrifying shifts.
What's the first shift?
If you stay on this path, the first shift is the slow death of your daily discipline. Because your brain calculates the gap between you and the billionaire on your screen as impossible to cross.
So it just gives up.
Yes. It initiates a state of learned helplessness. You start waking up later, you look at a hard task, and your brain says, well, what is the point? I am already so far behind.
Right. You trade your ambition for cheap distractions, like scrolling, alcohol, junk food, just to numb that dull ache in your chest.
And then comes the second shift, which honestly ruins life's bitter isolation. You start pulling away from your friends.
Oh, this is the worst part. When good things happen to people around you, you don't feel happy for them. You feel this sharp, burning resentment.
You start secretly praying for others to fail just so the gap between you doesn't feel so massive.
You become toxic, pushing away the very people who could have helped you build a real life.
Which leads directly into the third and final shift, which is complete psychological paralysis.
Total shutdown.
This is the total loss of your purpose. A man abandons all standards for himself and accepts a miserable existence. He stops trying to get a better job, stops trying to learn a skill. He is just filled with anger toward the world and deep self-loathing.
And history is littered with generations of men who reach this state. When a society accumulates millions of men who feel they have no stake in the future, the society itself fractures.
It crumbles from the inside out.
So what does this all mean for you? It means you are walking on a thin wire over a dark pit, letting algorithms blow wind at you from every direction.
Yes.
If the entire system is a rigged casino designed to make you feel like you're losing, how do we break out? Because, we can't just throw our phones in the ocean.
As tempting as that is.
Right. But the sources insist that the first 2 survival strategies must aggressively destroy the illusion and establish a grounding reality.
That's right. You have to dismantle the perception before you can change the behavior. So strategy number 1, you must inspect the facade.
Inspect the facade.
Envy relies entirely on distance. The further away you are from someone's life, the more perfect it looks.
I used to think of this like a movie set, but the sources actually use a much better analogy, comparing envy to an iceberg.
Ah, yes, the iceberg.
From a mile away, it looks like a beautiful, shining diamond floating on the ocean. You think, wow, I want that, but swim right up to it, and you realize it is a freezing, deadly block of ice that will crush your boat.
That is exactly it. Let's look closely at that executive driving the $250,000 sports car. From a distance, you feel like a failure because you drive an old sedan. Your brain punishes you.
Right, you feel tiny.
But if you swim up to the iceberg, if you inspect the facade, you learn the hidden tax he pays every single day for that car. He works 80 hours a week under brutal stress.
He takes prescription pills just to sleep.
He is navigating a bitter divorce because he's never home. He hasn't laughed genuinely in 3 years. You do not actually want his life. You only wanted a shiny object.
It's selective vision. We only envy the highlight reel, not the unseen misery that funds it.
Precisely. Whenever you envy someone, force your brain to look for the hidden tax. Strip away the fantasy, look under the water at the rest of the iceberg, and your peace of mind will instantly return.
Okay, but inspecting the facade only gets you back to neutral.
Yeah.
It stops the bleeding, but it doesn't make you feel powerful or steady in your own life.
Right, it's just step 1.
Because if you only look up at the mountain peak, your legs are still going to feel heavy and you will hate every step you take.
Which is why strategy 2 shifts your focus downward. We have to talk about gratitude.
Oh man, gratitude. People always roll their eyes at that word.
I know, but we aren't talking about the soft, decorative, emotional talk you see on greeting cards. In this context, gratitude is an aggressive mental shield.
An aggressive shield, I like that.
It is a tactical grounding mechanism that chemically starves envy before it can poison your mind.
How does that actually work mechanically, like in the brain?
When you feel envy, your sympathetic nervous system flares up. That's your fight or flight response. Your body thinks it's in danger because it perceives a lack of resources.
Because you saw some guy with a nicer watch.
Exactly. Downward comparison forces your brain into the parasympathetic state rest and digest. Let's contrast two young men. The first man is slamming his fist on a table, staring at mansions on his phone, feeling poor, miserable, and defeated because he doesn't live in luxury.
His cortisol is spiking.
His brain thinks he is dying.
And the second man, he actively forces a different perspective. He looks at his working hands. He takes a deep breath and registers his healthy lungs.
Yes.
He looks at the roof over his head and remembers a terrifying, grounding reality.
Yeah.
Millions of young men his exact age are currently hiding in literal war zones.
Or they're lying in hospital beds with incurable diseases.
Or they're wondering where their next meal is going to come from.
And because of that downward comparison, he feels steady. Not because he is settling for less, but because he realizes he already has the ultimate foundation to build anything he wants.
He anchors himself in reality rather than a digital hallucination. But this raises an important question about the people close to us.
Go on.
Once your mind is shielded from false illusions of strangers on the internet, you have to actively rewire how you process the success of your actual peers.
Yes, you do.
Otherwise, you fall into that second shift of decay, the bitter isolation we talked about. Because it's easy to dismiss the billionaire in Dubai. But when my actual buddy, who I grew up with, gets a massive promotion, that still stings.
Of course it does. It's close to home.
It is hard to override that biological instinct. So how do we stop ourselves from becoming that toxic guy who secretly hopes his friends fail?
This brings us to strategy 3. It's a concept often referred to in psychology as sympathetic joy, or the active practice of finding joy in another's success.
The sources mentioned a specific German term for this, right?
Yes, Mitfreud. It is the direct opposite of Schadenfreude.
Mitfreud. Got it.
Here is the neurological reality: throwing mud at someone else's success does not keep your own hands clean. When a mutual friend gets a promotion and you sneer or talk trash behind his back, you are quite literally training your own brain to believe that success is a threat.
Oh, wow.
You are teaching your subconscious that success is scarce and that his win was stolen from your pile.
You are coding your own brain for scarcity. But when that friend wins and you walk up, shake his hand firmly, and genuinely celebrate it, what happens then?
You prove to your subconscious mind that success is abundant in your environment. You prove it is achievable for people like you.
That makes so much sense.
This active celebration cleanses the mind of bitterness. It physically rewires your neural pathways to view success as an accessible resource, not a threat. Plus, pragmatically, it builds a network of strong, capable men who will pull you up when it is your turn to rise.
But let's be real, even if you practice sympathetic joy, you still feel that initial jolt. You can't just turn off the brain's comparison engine completely, right?
All right.
It's hardwired into us from thousands of years of evolution.
No, you absolutely cannot stop the brain from comparing. But you can redirect that raw mental power. This is strategy 4, transmute envy into emulation.
I love this because envy is essentially just raw energy. It is a cortisol and adrenaline spike.
Exactly.
You can use that energy to burn your own house down, or you can use it to run an engine. Let's say you see a peer build a great physique or launch a successful local business. I challenge you to reframe your physical response to that.
Reframe the heat in your chest.
Right. When you feel that heat in your chest, do not sit on the couch eating junk food, scrolling for 6 hours, and calling him lucky. That is the behavior of a defeated man.
The feeling of envy is your body providing you with fuel for action.
Use it as an engine. If he can do it, it proves a human being with the same hours in the day can do it. So take that burning feeling and metabolize it.
Metabolize it into work.
Push through 50 extra push-ups. Study late into the night. Write that business plan. Indolence and sitting still feed envy, but disciplined physical and mental action destroys it.
Action metabolizes the anxiety. Which brings us to the final piece of the puzzle. Strategy 5.
The big one.
If you want to permanently break free from the control of multi-billion-dollar corporations and social media apps, you have to realize they only have power over you if you use their scoreboard.
They're fake metrics.
Right. To survive, you must build an internal metric for success that their algorithms absolutely cannot touch.
This is Strategy 5 Anchor your self-worth internally around a true calling. Because if you do not know where you are walking, every man running past you will make you feel like you are heading in the wrong direction.
It is so disorienting.
It is a purely power-focused reality. If you have no internal compass, you are at the mercy of the wind.
The sources are emphatic about this. You have to master a trade or a deep skill. It honestly doesn't matter if it is carpentry, coding, or mechanics.
This is something real.
Yes. Let's compare a man who measures his worth by what the algorithm tells him to a man who is locked on his own target. The first man sees expensive clothes online and immediately drops his long-term goals to chase some fast money crypto scheme, desperately trying to keep up.
And the second man, the one mastering a craft.
His attention cannot be hijacked. The only standard of measurement he cares about becomes, did I work harder today than I did yesterday? Did I master my craft a little bit more?
That is powerful.
The noise of the internet becomes entirely irrelevant to his daily progress.
Internal goals make it impossible for strangers on the internet to make you feel small. You take your power back completely, you stop playing their rigged game, and you start playing your own.
Which leaves us at a critical crossroads.
The ultimate choice.
Yes. As a listener, you are standing at a literal fork in the road right now, and the future branches into paths that lead to completely different lives. The power shift is in your hands.
Tell them about Path 1.
Path 1, you keep doing exactly what you are doing. You keep swallowing the daily poison. You keep scrolling. You keep resenting. And you wait for a miracle that is never, ever coming.
And 5 years from now.
5 years from now, you will be in the exact same spot, but you will be older, angrier, weaker, and much deeper in the pit. The world will simply move on without you.
Path 2, you wake up right now. You cut off the fake noise. You apply the downward comparison. You master a skill. You build your body, and you achieve a state of absolute, unshakable calm.
The clock is ticking quietly in the background of your life. You have to understand that no government, no influencer, and no algorithm is going to step into your room and fix your life for you.
No one is coming to save you.
They are profiting off your paralysis.
History is filled with the forgotten names of young men who had massive potential, but spent their entire lives staring envyingly at someone else's field while their own farm withered away into dust. Which of these paths do you think you are already walking?